Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. Wanted to have another heart-to-heart chat with all of you. I know I did a similar sit down on my bed style video 4 to 5 weeks ago, kind of telling you all about my pregnancy loss. I want to do that again. Tell you kind of about what's been going on since then, update you on my life and some of the big changes that I am making. Some fertility related, some not. I honestly thought about including some of this information in a vlog, but when I sat down to do it, it just didn't feel like it fit well with the theme and the tone of the vlog, and I don't know if it ever will. So I just figured I would sit down and kind of just tell you all the things on my mind. There's a lot. Hopefully this isn't too incoherent. Hopefully it also isn't too preachy, but I think that some of the stuff that I'm going to share might help other people too. So I did just want to share for that reason, if that makes sense. I'm going to be talking about a lot of different things in this video, some fertility related, some not, but there will be really candid discussions about pregnancy loss, weight loss and weight gain, and body image. So if those things are things you don't want to hear about, I would definitely recommend skipping this one and watching a different video. I guess it's also a good reason why I'm doing this video separate, so that if you regularly like to watch my videos but you kind of skip some of the harder hitting topics, you can just skip this video altogether and you can go and watch the other vlogs, because there's probably not going to be a lot of discussion about this kind of stuff in other videos going forward. But we're getting ahead of ourselves, okay? Also, I have my laptop on my lap because I have some notes. I want to make sure that I cover all the things I want to talk about in this video. So first off, I think it's important to start from kind of where I left off in that last sit down video, which is when I was a couple of days out from a DNC, right? So was 9 weeks pregnant from my second embryo transfer earlier this year. I got pregnant in March. I had a missed miscarriage in April. I had a DNC procedure done the day after I found out. It has been 5 weeks since that. After experiencing something like that, obviously your emotions are all over the place. I will say I was really expecting to mourn the loss, obviously, of a very wanted baby, which, I have been, and I expected to feel kind of annoyed at the loss of time that I spent prepping my body and giving myself these injections, these IVF medications. But what I didn't expect over these past 5 weeks to feel was peace and joy, and how grief and joy can exist at the same time. Basically, in the past 5 weeks since my DNC, I have been mourning and wishing for a baby. I feel like everybody else is pregnant or is just now having a baby, and I feel behind. But I'm also really glad that I'm not pregnant. I'm glad, again, that I don't have to do these injections. I'm glad that I get to eat the foods that I like. I'm glad that I get to spend time on making YouTube videos and that I'm not getting nauseous just staring at a screen. Basically, I've been trying to grapple with these warring emotions and trying not to make myself feel bad about the fact that I have been feeling kind of happy at some points. I feel like I have been pulled in so many different directions, and my immediate feeling after having my DNC was that I just wanted to get back on the horse. I'm really strong and I should just do another embryo transfer. And I had what I would consider to be a breakthrough last week. I had a lot of discussions with Hayden, especially, obviously, because this is something that's really relevant and important to him as well. And I just feel like I really took a hard look at myself and my desires, my need for control of situations. And I feel like I've been the most honest with myself that I have been maybe my entire life. If you're a motivated person like me, if you're someone who's really type A, honestly, regardless of all of that, I think a lot of us think we have control over our lives, or we like to think that we have control. And we do have control over certain things, right? Control is something that makes us feel safe. This idea that I'm in control of the situation, I can keep myself safe from outside forces. But what happens if you're at the whims of your body or someone else's body, or chance, or bad luck? It kind of tells you to go fuck yourself, and you can't really do anything. And it also kind of points out to you that you have been operating out of fear for a very long time, or at least that is what I have realized recently. A lot of the decisions that I have made over the past 5 years, to be honest, have been out of fear. Infertility, I think, just generally speaking, kind of thrives on that. You get sucked into infertility treatment, and the kind of resounding thing that you hear, whether it's vocalized or not by the people that you're working with, is you're running out of time and you have to act now or you're going to lose the chance at having a baby forever. And also the state of US conservatives in this country doesn't help. All of fertility has been very fearful for me, right? I have been doing all of these things because I'm scared. I'm looking at outside people, right? Other people having babies. I'm scared that I won't get to have that experience. I'm scared of the fact that embryos are considered people now. There's so much stuff to be scared of. And I was just making all of these decisions because, again, I wanted a baby at 30. I wanted to be a young mom. Also, what happens if I have a kid too late and I'm not able to experience all of my kid's life with them? That's a terrifying thought. But there's so many what ifs, right? So many fears that were driving my decisions, especially around infertility. And I don't regret any of the decisions that I've made up until this point. I still desperately want to be a mom, and I want to be a mom to someone. And I don't regret any of the decisions that I have made because I didn't know then what I feel like I know now, which is that letting fear of missing out, of bad things happening. Define your decisions isn't really helping you. The constant state of low-level panic that I've been at for 2+ years at this point, making decisions so that I don't miss out on things, it's exhausting and it doesn't prevent bad things from happening. So I have decided that I'm taking back control over my own life, and instead of trying to mitigate for bad things happening and letting fear drive my decision making, I have decided to put myself first, to make decisions based on what is best for me and not based on the things that the outside forces, the things that are scaring me, right? This is where it's going to get lengthy. I want to kind of like give you a little bit of history and backstory. If you're new here, you can learn maybe a little bit more about me. And I think a lot of this plays into so many different parts of my life. Okay, let's go back to the beginning, okay? Let's start at the beginning of YouTube. I decided to make a YouTube channel right after I graduated from grad school. I went to an undergraduate program for 4 years. I did a 1-year master's program directly after. So basically I graduated like a year late, if that helps like contextualize things for you. While I was in grad school, I feeling a little bit stifled, and I was actually a little bit jaded as well. I felt like I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, but I wasn't particularly excited for the prospect of a 9-to-5 job, even though I was going to school to get a good 9-to-5 job, okay? And I did. I got a tech job after college. Maybe not the most glamorous or exciting thing. It was like a tech sales job where I was cold calling people, and I fucking hated it. Pretty much immediately I realized that I am just not that kind of person, but it was a good job and it had good benefits, and I saw room for potential down the road, so I just took the job and I did it, and I hated every second of it. And pretty soon into starting that job, I think within a month of starting, or maybe I started the month before. Anyway, I started my YouTube channel right around the time I started my job. YouTube has always been my saving grace. It's always been something that has driven me creatively, and getting to make videos has been the joy of my life. I did it at first just as the side thing to be a creative outlet for me, to make the kinds of things that I wanted to watch. And it really helped me balance the negative emotions and stuff that I was feeling in my 9-to-5 job. I still hated my job. It didn't make that any better, but I had an outlet. I was like sneaking books at work, trying to read during work hours. I was coming home and reading and making videos until like midnight every night because I don't know, I had a passion and a fire lit under me to do this thing. I'm glad for that. And I don't really regret any of these things, but a lot of things kind of resulted from that, right? I didn't really make rich interpersonal friendships or anything with the people I was working with or just outside of it. A lot of my friends moved away after college, and it was kind of just me and Hayden living together. And he was like my only real source of entertainment, companionship, I suppose. So I was pretty lonely. I think mentally I probably wasn't doing my best. And I started noticing within a year or two of starting YouTube that my mental health maybe wasn't the best, and I was also not treating my body very well. Growing up, I just didn't learn really any principles of like eating healthy or exercise, and that's a video for another time, but I started to gain pretty significant amounts of weight pretty quickly. And in college, I had gained like 5 or 10 pounds, I think, throughout the length of college. Nothing drastic, not the freshman 15, anything like that. So gaining weight as rapidly as I was a little bit concerning to me, but I didn't think it was a problem, right? I was too focused on other things to see it as a problem. And to me, it's never about the weight, it's about the health. And I wasn't eating healthy. I wasn't exercising. I wasn't treating myself with respect. I was not treating my life as this whole entity. I was literally just going to work so that I could come home and do YouTube. That was all that I was living for a while. I'm happy to say that has shifted quite a bit, especially with, fertility stuff. It's kind of forced me to consider how much time I'm spending on YouTube. But yeah, I was living very unhealthily for a long time, steadily gaining weight. And then, a bunch of life stuff happened in the meantime. In 2020, we moved into our house. We got married in early 2022. And then things started getting worse, both health-wise and mental health-wise. In 2022, my cat passed away, which was the first real grief and loss that I have personally ever experienced. It was something that really rocked me, and I went into a basically year-long depression after that. And I used food, of course, as my source of comfort. I continued to gain weight. Again, I just wasn't taking care of myself. And I want to make it very clear that I don't think that weight gain is inherently bad. I don't think that being in a larger body is bad. I think that not treating yourself with respect is bad. And that means different things to different people, but to me it looks like fueling my body with things that make me feel good and moving my body. And I wasn't doing any of those things, which was a departure from how I had treated myself in the past. When I was in grad school, actually, I had just started getting into weightlifting. I did that for a year. I loved doing that. I started learning how to cook for myself, and then I just kind of regressed again, after I graduated and went to grad school. But 2022 again was just a really dark time for me, the rest of it. And again, part of 2023 was really bad. Adding to the badness was fertility, right? I got married and I was excited to start a family with my husband. And then I found out that wouldn't be easy and I would have to do a lot of medical treatment, which I had no experience with, which made me very deeply depressed. And the only thing that was making me happy was food. Literally the only thing that was making me happy, which is really sad, to be honest. That's just like sad to think about because there's so many other things that are like exciting in life too. Food's awesome, but so is like so many other things. Yeah, I can't emphasize enough like how bad my mental health overall has been. You know, there's ups and downs, but just overall my mental health has been so bad for the past 2 years, which has made my physical health bad and which has made my body image and my self-worth bad. And amidst all of that, trying to do fertility treatment, trying to get pregnant has not helped either. Pregnancy obviously does a number on your self-image and your body image and stuff like that. And I just felt a little bit out of control. And for both of my transfers, I was thinking to myself, like, God, maybe I should like work on becoming a grown-up before I like actually do this. Like maybe I should like try to learn how to actually cook and actually exercise and like go to therapy and journal and like do these things that I knew that I probably needed to start doing. But I kept putting it off because I was scared. Also, another thing I think that's important to point out that happened kind of in the 2021 to 2024 kind of span is that both Hayden and myself had jobs that we did not enjoy, which additionally, again, didn't help our mental health. We were both working from home at jobs that were not very intellectually stimulating or fulfilling. Again, it was like, let's do something fun. Like, let's leave the house. Let's like go get fast food. Let's get crumble cookies. Like, let's do some things, you know, to like make life exciting because like our actual day-to-day wasn't very exciting. We were doing the same thing. It literally felt like Groundhog Day, to be honest, for like years, which is crazy. That's years of my life I can't get back. I got laid off this year, which was actually kind of excited about. I had been looking to eventually move to doing content creation full-time, and I knew I didn't want to have a 9-to-5 job with a child. But like perfect timing, right? Like I'm gonna get pregnant in 2024 and I won't have a job and it'll be great. Little did I know how much embryo transfer prep would suck. Little did I know, you know, the stress of like being unemployed when you weren't really expecting it. It was like such a mixed bag. Like I was excited but didn't really get to enjoy it. Yeah, and it didn't feel like my life had really changed. It was just like one thing was leaving my life, which was my 9-to-5 job, which is crazy because this is my dream job. Like getting to do this full time is my dream job and I didn't even get to enjoy it. Also, it's not really like mine to, you know, talk about too much, but Hayden got a different role recently where he is so much more fulfilled and where he is getting to actually use his brain and his skills and get to talk to people and interact more than he ever has in any other job. And that has also meant him going into an office 2 or 3 days a week. That started about a week ago, which brings us back to now. So like 5 weeks post DNC, a week since Hayden starting his new job, and I'm feeling like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm feeling like myself again. I'm feeling a draw and a pull towards things that are incongruous with fertility treatment. I feel like my eyes are finally opening to the way that I have been living for so long. It took a pregnancy loss, sadly, to show me how I wasn't living my life at all. I've been trudging through life for a long time. And I think you can see that. Like if you look at the videos on my main channel for the past like couple of months, like I just haven't been doing things with my eyes wide open. And I've made stuff in the past few years too that like I'm excited about, but like just especially these past like 4 or 5 months, I've just been so deeply unhappy and feeling like myself again. It's just been so underrated. Like getting to wake up every day and make YouTube videos, exercise, like move my body in any way that I want, go outside and garden, which I fucking love. Wasn't able to do that when I was pregnant because I was feeling so fucking sick. Hayden going into an office, giving me the ability to create a schedule for myself, us both just feeling like reinvigorated by the things that we do every day. It's so underrated. It's just so, it's given me an appreciation for life that I haven't had in a really long time. But I've also been sitting with the emotions of IVF. And I think y'all have noticed in the past few vlogs that I've been talking about my feelings about all of this. Something like this, it just really forces you to look at your feelings and the possibilities, because I guess up until this point, I'd always thought that I will be a mom, I just need to keep doing IVF. I've kind of discovered that maybe that isn't the case. Like maybe I will never be pregnant full term. Maybe I'll never have a baby that way. Maybe I'll adopt. Maybe I'll foster. Maybe I will just be child free. I don't know. But that has been on my mind lately. So has the idea of taking a break. It feels so weird to say that out loud. It's scary to say out loud. And for weeks, I couldn't even think the thought. Like break. I couldn't think that because it was too real and it was incongruous with who I thought that I was, which is a strong person who like persists. And why would I take a break from something that is going to lead me to what I want? And when I really just sat down and thought about it, and when I really looked at myself, I'm not ready. It's not because of the loss that I'm not ready. It's because I'm not a grown-up. I've been operating out of fear for so long, and I haven't actually looked at what I need. Again, how to be a grown-up, to eat healthy, to exercise, go to therapy, journal, all of those things that I listed as things that I think functioning adults do. Not everybody needs to journal, but I do well when I journal. To actually give myself the discipline to get back to YouTube in a way that's healthy for me, balancing it with the other parts of my life, but also putting my all into it creatively so that I can make things that I'm really proud of. it's just what I actually need when I zoom out. Again, have been so scared of saying that, not because I've been fearing judgment from other people, but because of the judgment I've had towards myself. And I realize it's what my future child needs from me, which is to have a mom who is not only a positive example, but is someone who's able to be fully present because they know themselves 100%, because they've done the hard work of like growing the fuck up, doing those important things. Also, now that I'm thinking about it, quick aside, when it comes to this talk about health and weight loss, I do think it's important to point out that I was diagnosed with PCOS by my health provider, and I had no idea. I know that you're technically born with it, but I have not had the symptoms of it until I started gaining a pretty significant amount of weight. And it's hard to say like what comes first, is the PCOS or the weight gain, but I've been experiencing some like pretty unpleasant health side effects from my PCOS just in the past few months. And that is something that I'm really trying to like work on getting under control. It's like insulin resistance, eating higher protein, doing the things that I can to like help my PCOS and like get my cycles more regular. So that's another thing. It's not just about like looking good, it's about genuinely feeling good and like actually taking care of my body in the way that my body needs. Anyway, all that to say, in talking with my friends and family and really getting their honest opinions, I think what really solidified everything for me was the comments, unsolicited actually, that my sister and my husband have made, which is that I feel, or that I seem to them to be happier, that I seem more like myself right now. The only thing I'm actually scared of right now is getting pregnant, of not getting to enjoy where I'm at right now, which is at the start of a good place. I feel like I finally have the mental energy and the courage and the physical energy to like actually tackle the things that I would like to tackle. Is it actually weak to quit or to take a break? I personally think it is weaker to let fear consume you, and I feel like it's really strong to admit again that you have some shit to work on before you have a kid. To really help my PCOS, I want to learn how to cook, which is something I do not know how to do for various reasons, which if you want a video on that at some point, let me know. I want to renovate my house. I'm actually doing a really fun renovation, or getting someone to do a fun renovation in my bathroom quite soon. I want to do DIY projects with my husband. We love doing those. I want to go to fucking Disney World. I want to have a hot girl summer, and I want to spend time with my cats, and I want to live this one life that I have as well as I can. And I think that I have not been taking my whole life into consideration for a very long time. I've just been getting hyperfixated on one thing at a time and just not looking at the whole picture. And I need to find balance in my life, and I'm excited to do that. I'm not letting fear control me anymore. I'm making decisions that are right for me, and I'm letting my sense of what will be best for me guide me. All that other noise is bullshit. So I hope this wasn't too rambly or too strange. I feel like the intro was maybe a little odd, but I'm glad that I got to share all of this context with you. I'm sure I'm like missing some stuff because there's obviously a lot that happens in like, 5 or 6 year span, but I think that pretty much sums it up. Mental health issues, the not treating myself well, the desire for a child, just because something is right for other people too, and just because other people around you are doing it doesn't mean that you have to do it. I will say that before I leave, is that one of the big, not deciding factors, but one of the things that Hayden and I were specifically discussing is it that I want a baby in my arms tomorrow, or is it that I am craving what other people have? And I feel like I'm like not on the same timeline. I felt like that a lot when I was waiting to get proposed to and like waiting to get married. It seemed like everybody around me was doing it, and why couldn't it happen for me? And there's definitely a part of me that feels that way about having a kid in this moment. And there's definitely more to having a child than just that, and obviously more that goes into my decision to have a child than just that. But if that is one of the biggest things I'm feeling right now, that's not a good enough reason to have a kid right now. So I'm ready to wait. I'm ready to mature. I've got time. Whether that's with my own fertility or not, I have time to be a parent or to be a parental figure in someone's life, and it'll happen for me one day. So I wanted to say all of this because I want you to know that it's okay to change your mind, and it's okay to take some time for yourself, and it's okay to realize when things are not serving you anymore. And I also wanted to share all of this because you're not going to see fertility content from me for a while. Oh, I don't think I told you how long of a break I'm taking. I'm taking the rest of the year off, which feels kind of crazy. I initially was like, oh, I think I'm gonna take like a couple of months off. I scheduled our Disney trip for like late summer, which like, ew, hot. But also I was like, I want to give myself time. Like if I want to do things in the fall, like I can. But when I really like thought about the changes that I need to make for myself and make sustainable, I need more time than that. So I am not doing any fertility things for the rest of the year. I might in the like late fall, do some like diagnostic stuff so that I can do a FET in in the beginning of next year, but I'm not doing any embryo transfers this year. So you're not going to see really any fertility content from me. And if that's the only reason you're here, I'm so sorry. But I did want to like put that out there so that you can kind of know that what you can expect from me and here on this channel is a lot of, again, like DIY projects. We're actually going to build a DIY vent hood cover out there in the kitchen in a couple of days. I'm going to do some wallpapering after skim coating my walls, which is going to be a whole thing. There's a lot of like little things around my house I would like to do. Again, in addition to getting my bathroom redone, I literally just signed a contract today to get that done. So very much looking forward to it. And also, I pay a ton of money to get your bathroom redone so you can have a bathtub if you're just going to get pregnant and like not be able to use that bathtub for a while. You know, it would just be illogical. If you're going to see DIY projects for me, you're going to see probably recipes and like me learning to cook a little bit. I can prepare food. I'm not like terrible at it, but like many a white person, I'm not great at seasoning. So I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn a lot of these things. So I'll probably share more of that kind of content. Obviously more books, obviously more life stuff. It's really not going to look that much different here besides, again, the lack of fertility stuff. So if you've been avoiding my content because there has been fertility stuff, you're in luck because it'll be gone, you know, or not gone, but temporarily gone for a little while. I'm really proud of myself for making this decision, and I think I want to make more decisions that make myself proud. That's it for me. This has been rambly and ranty. I love y'all so much, and I hope to see you around, and I hope to see you in the next video.